Hello, my Star Wars fans. One sec. Okay, let's try this again. Hello, my Star Wars fans. Dark Superboy here with a very special Star Wars video, since this is my first ever speculation and theory on Star Wars. And today we are going to be discussing Palpatine's Ghost Fleet for the upcoming final film in the Star Wars saga, Rise of Skywalker. Let's begin. First, my apologies for those of you who are already subscribed to my channel on delays on any of my videos. I've actually been moving into a new flat, as you can see, so hopefully everything will be back on schedule of doing about one video a week. But for those who haven't subscribed to my channel, this is my first ever video on speculation of the Star Wars universe. Normally I go to Young Justice, but hopefully you'll enjoy this as we go on. So yes, as I said in the intro, this is going to be discussing Palpatine's Ghost Fleet. Now, the trailer for Star Wars Rise of Skywalker just dropped a few days ago, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. It was brilliant, and I love the instrumental. I didn't think you could get that Star Wars music any better, but they have. I mean, that was just glorious. Everyone looked brilliant. Daisy, everyone, all just so excited. And a little bonus, because I'm here in jolly old England, I get to see it before anyone else on the main stream, because midnight here is not midnight over in the US. So I've already booked my tickets and be dressing up appropriately to see it. So yes, but I digress again. Back onto the fleet. As we've all seen from the trailer, we have a ghost fleet here, or a hidden fleet of Imperial Star Destroyers. Now, where the location of this is completely speculative. Some people think it's in this iceberg asteroid. We know it's an asteroid because people are saying it's on a reflective lake, but it's not a perfect reflection if you were to cut across the axis and mirror the images. But I'm not so sure, because the asteroid is in space, and we've already seen in images that people are on the exterior of the Star Destroyer Ghost Fleet. So therefore, if it's an asteroid, it can't be in. It can't, if an asteroid is in space, therefore the second anyone punches that shell or protective coating, you're dead, or anyone outside is dead. So yeah, probably not on this iceberg. But I would like to point out, a lot of people have been saying that this asteroid might be housing an executive class Star Destroyer, judging by the size and length of it. It probably isn't just an Executor class Star Destroyer, it's an Eclipse Executor class Star Destroyer, because if you look in the darker regions, you see this little bow bend in the dark line, where if I were to overlay the claw design of the Executor Eclipse, like now, you see it looks a lot similar to that design, or the silhouette in the asteroid. But I digress. Onto the topic of hand, and that is namely Palpatine's Ghost Fleet. Now, we've seen a lot of images in the promos for this fleet before the trailer, but we have actually now seen it becoming active and mobile and armed in the final trailer. So the question now is going to be, where is it? Now, I've already ruled out the asteroid field, so my most logical reason I could come up with is a gas giant, mainly one similar to Bespin, where obviously Cloud City was, and everyone was able to walk around outside and be able to breathe. So I'm guessing that Palpatine found something of a similar atmospheric display, or might have planned ahead that the lightning storms that are seen in the footage so far can be used to power the Star Destroyers, which would explain why they haven't run out of juice and fallen into the gravitational pull of this gas giant. Now on to point number 2, which is why the Resistance and why the First Order are now looking for this fleet. And the simple matter is, this fleet could turn the tide for either side. Yes, they are outdated, but if we actually have a closer look, you can see that these Star Destroyers are equipped, or at least one of them is, with this cannon underneath its main hull. If this is some sort of variant of the Dreadnought Star Destroyer's main cannons, that is a lot of firepower even for an old ship. So if the Resistance get their hands on it, they can take over the fleet and use it against the First Order fleet and give themselves a fighting chance. If the First Order gets their hands on the fleet, they can eradicate the Resistance and take over the galaxy once and for all, because their original plan was simply to have the Starkiller base as their ace in the hole, just like the Death Star would have been for the Empire, to subjugate the entire galaxy with fear of their homeworlds being destroyed. Now that the Starkiller base was destroyed, they could still achieve this with superior Star Destroyer numbers and forces, but now with the destruction of the Supremacy, which was their mobile shipyard, they don't have the possibility of replacements as quickly. So they're probably seeing the loss, the suffering of diminishing returns, even if the Resistance can take out 1 or 2 Star Destroyers. That's 1 or 2 Star Destroyers they can't get their hands on. So it's a race against time of trying to find this fleet, and judging by looks of it, they both find it at the exact same time, and it's a mad dash to try and get them, because we see the boarding crews of both the Resistance and the First Order landing on the ships, trying to get that fully manned. Point number 3. Maintenance. How can this fleet have survived this long in the middle of nowhere all this time? And the simple answer of that, it's got caretakers, as we've already been introduced to the most loyal unit in Palpatine's empire, and that is the Sith Troopers. Granted, they weren't ever shown in the original trilogy, but if they were so secretive organisation, it is most likely they would never be seen in public, and I believe it's these guys who have been looking after this fleet all this time. And we've also seen signs of them in the final battle, because we see a Dagger TIE Fighter, which is the Sith Troopers TIE Fighter. So it's going to probably be above a normal TIE Fighter of the Empire, but below a TIE Fighter of the First Order. So somewhere in that mid-range in the form of technology and capabilities. So it's all going to climatise in this massive freeway battle. The First Order is going to try and get the fleet to wipe out the Resistance. The Resistance is going to try and get the fleet to wipe out the First Order. And the Sith Troopers are going to try and do whatever mad plan Palpatine's got for them. Whether it be destroy both of them, destroy everyone, or try and get the fleet out there. I don't know, which is really, really good and shows an exciting premise for a film, because who knows? We know it's going to cut down close to wire, because we've seen images of the Resistance already on Star Destroyers, and therefore they're probably going to try and take over that Star Destroyer to turn their cannons onto the First Order fleet, or to the Star Destroyers that haven't been taken over. We see images of shuttles, Imperial or First Order shuttles being taken down, landing on the Star Destroyers. So the First Order is going to get full on space battle, hand to hand, and then this. So we're going to have a Return of the Jedi. We're going to have three battles. We're going to cut to. We're going to cut to Rey versus Palpatine and Kylo, which symbolises the Luke Skywalker Darth Vader fight. We're going to have a space battle with the First Order, the Sith Troopers and the Resistance. That's similar to the Star Destroyers of the Imperium and the Death Star versus the Rebellion fleet. And we're going to have a ground battle, or effectively a ground battle, of the Resistance fighting the Sith Troopers and the First Order Troopers on the ground, like the Ewoks versus the Empire on Endor's moon. So to summarise, we're going to have a three-way battle on the third and final film of a third set of trilogies to finish it off. I think it's going to be awesome. But these are my thoughts and theories. If you have any ideas or like to comment on my theories, please do so in the comments section below. I've been Dark Superboy. This has been a video on Star Wars. May the Force be with you, and as always, let hope burn bright. Goodbye.